Okay. So now, to recall our discussion last meeting, so when we talk about, yes, Joshua?
Sa cyclic groups po.
Yes, So, if you can remember, ano yung ibig sabihin ng in layman's term ng isang group to be cyclic?
Kailangan niya po yung, kailangan there's a generator that
Yeah,
can generate the entire set.
that's right. So, in other words, G is cyclic if and only if there exists an element in G such that it can generate the entire group. Yun lang naman ang ibig sabihin. So, in other words, when you're talking about generation, you multiply or add the same element several times. So, as long as it generates the whole set, so you will have a cyclic group. In multiplicative notation, so ito yung gagamitin natin. More often kasi, mostly multiplicative ang magiging product or ang binary operation we are doing. So we have an example last time for cyclic group. One is the set of integers. So you were able to identify 1 and -1. And we mentioned last time na yun lang at wala na siyang ibang generators. And what we are also interested is in this example. I don't know kung nagbigay ko nga siya last time. So tingnan ko nga. Let me look at our last meeting's notes. So far, ang example natin, ito Z3, Z4. Okay. So, itong interesting, what we are to look at from this collection, so meaning to say, if we consider Zn, di ba may assignment ka dito na lahat ba to cyclic or may mga selected groups lang siya na hindi cyclic? But by trying to look at some examples, so Z4 tayo halimbawa, Z4, and we know Z4 has the elements 0, 1, 2, and 3. Medyo lakihan ko lang, medyo maliit siya. What we are interested, ano ang mga generators ng Z4? Well, ang obvious na generator natin is under addition to modulo n. So obviously, it's always 1. 1 is always the generator for all ZNs. Ayun, actually, it answers ng question on cyclic ba siya o hindi. But are there other generators in this case?
Three?
Kung 3, sige, let's try 3. Lalagay ko na ng equality dyan. For 3, well, you can start with 3, then 3 plus 3. So you'll have 6 modulo, 4. So you'll have 2. 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. So you'll have 9 modulo 4. So you'll have 1. And 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. Apat na ba yun na 3? And you'll have modulo 4, 0. So yun. Meron pa ba ibang generators? 0 obviously hindi. Is 2 a generator?
Hindi na po. May 0, 2, 0, 2, 0, 2.
Ayun, hindi. Tama. How about Z5? Z5 tayo. Ano ang mga generators ng Z5 under modulo addition? Maliban sa 1.
0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 1, 3, 3. Wait lang. 2, 2, 4. 2, 4, 6, 1, 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 5. Okay. So, meron po. So, 0. 2 na po generator.
The 2 is also a generator. What else? Meron pa ba?
3, 6, 9, 12. I think 3 rin po.
Yun. Tama. It's 3. Generator din ng 3. How about 4?
Baka. 4,
Sige, isipin mo.
4 8, 3, 3, 4, 2, 2, 4, 6, 1, 1, 4, 5, 0. Okay, so 4 din po.
Yan. You're correct. Actually, lahat ito are generators except for 0.
Mm.
Okay, maybe 2 more examples para at least we could see somehow the pattern and you might have some conjecture out of this. Z6. Ano mga generators ng Z6? Of
Mga
course, 1.
3 kaya. 3. I think yung ano po dyan, baka kung factorable, then hindi siya, kung kung factorable yung one of its elements, hindi pwedeng generator yun.
Yes. So
So,
therefore, anong mga numbers na posible for Z6 from
I think
0
yung
to
mga
5?
relatively prime po sa kanya.
Yan. You're correct.
Probably,
So
definitely
isa
not,
dyan, it's
baka 5.
5. That's 1. Tama. And meron pa ba relatively prime to 6? 0, hindi pwede. So of course, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So therefore, 1 and 5 lang ang relatively prime. Other words, kasi if one of the factors is a multiple, or I'm not a multiple, one of the numbers is a factor of n, in this case 6, 2, and 3, so hindi siya pwede. So magiging multiple lang siya of the other, magre-repeat lang ulit. So, in other words, kung C7 na tayo, so ano ang, so from these observations, so anong mga generators na ng Z7 mo?
Dapat 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 po.
Yan, correct. So 1, 2, until, shortcut na lang yan, 6. Okay, tama.
And kasi na po tawag doon, hindi pa siya na-encounter yung prime po na let's say pong 7 or 11, hindi pa na-encounter. Kung ganun na prime, kung prime, I think dapat 1 hanggang 1 n minus 1 po yung generator.
Tama. Actually, M-1 nga talaga. So, in other words, let's prove that. Ang ano natin, yung assumption natin kanina. So what so far we have noticed is this. So if we write it in this term, lalagay ko na lang to as a theorem, although madali lang naman na theorem. Okay? If two numbers, say m and n, are relatively prime to each other, by the way, I'm using this notation for GCD. Sometimes susulat ako ng word na GCD.
Opo.
Then, under Zn, yung generator niya is, of course, M. So, yun lang naman. Okay, so let's prove this. Ipo-prove natin siya. Okay, proof. Ito lang ta. Okay, so usually, if you start a proof, by the way, a structure of a proof like this, may ano ko na lang, i-note ko lang muna. So meron kang, ang statement natin is of the form, napansin mo, this is two forms, may dalawa kang clauses. Let's call this P, let's call this Q. So ang statement mo, statement is of the form P implies Q. So may three ways actually to do proving. Kung may ganito ka mga statements like this. Now one is merong hypothesis at merong kang conclusion. One is what we call direct proof. So it means na gagamitin mo si P, tapos magko-conclude ka direkta kay Q. So that's the direct proof. Okay? Na-encounter mo na ba to mga ways to do proving, Joshua?
I think so po, yung basic na proofs po. Yung mga reduction ad absurdum, mga ganun mo.
Yes, ganon. So ang isa naman is the contrapositive, or what we call now the indirect proof. So in this case, ang gagamitin mo rather than, halimbawa may mga mathematical statements na mahirap siya gagamitin ang hypothesis as your initial condition. So ginagawa nila, what if I will negate the conclusion, then ang outcome nito would be the negation of the hypothesis. So, in other words, meron kang tinatawag na contrapositive. So, meaning equivalent yung dalawang statement na yan. It's just like saying if P implies Q, it means that not Q implies not P. Halimbawa, if it rains today, then it will be sunny tomorrow. Parang it's also saying if it's not sunny tomorrow, then it did not rain today. So pareho lang yung dalawang statement na yan. Okay?
Wow.
So,
If
tawag dito,
if the outcome did not happen, then there was no initial condition mo. Parang
yes,
ganun.
or it's the negation of the initial condition.
Opo.
So, yon. Then finally, merong tinatawag na, from this indirect proof, meron siyang may isa pa, yung tinatawag na proof by contradiction. Proof by contradiction. So, ito yung usual na steps ng proof by contradiction. You state it first, state P, meaning assume mo totoo si P, and then you assume yung negation ng Q. Okay? So meaning, pag umpisa mo palang pag-state mo, halimbawa, totoo si P. Tapos, however, let us assume mali si Q. So dapat, there will exist what you call a contradiction. So tawagin ko siyang C. Or sometimes they use this symbol. I call this sometimes Harry Potter symbol. Parang kidlat kasi na Harry Potter said. So, meron kang sinabi sa mga succeeding steps mo na magkakamali ang conclusion. So it's either normally ang kakalabasan niyan, sometimes it's the negation of P na inassume mo totoo yan si P. So magko-contradict silang dalawa. So we're saying na, oh, saan ka nagkamali? So meaning with your assumptions earlier. So yan ang tinatawag na proof by contradiction. So we will have this type of proof later as we will move on with some of the proving techniques na meron tayo. Okay? So dito yan magpi-play around yung proof by ang mga ganitong mga statements na to. I think one classic example ng ano bang magandang example? Later na lang. I think may mga statements ako along the way na meron tayong one of these three as our example. For now, ito yung muna natin. Let us prove this theorem. Itong theorem na to. Let's prove this. So, proof. So, meron tayong assumption na relatively prime yung dalawang number. So, let us assume that let N and M be relatively prime to each other. So, therefore, anong ibig sabihin being relatively prime? So, wala silang common divisor. So you all already know that. Now, let us suppose the following. Suppose, kasi goal natin is this. I'll go back. Goal natin na si M lang ang generator at wala nang iba. Okay? Or pwede din, there are other numbers that you can say as a generator, pero it will always go back to M. So that's our assumption sa ngayon. So suppose, let's consider there are two integers, particularly k sub 1 and k sub 2, wherein ang k sub 1 and k sub 2 mo are numbers from 0, 1, 2, and so on hanggang n minus 1. Okay? Well, obviously, isa sa mga numbers sa set mo. Okay? Such that, ang gagawin natin, yung multiple ni M sub 1, ni M, let's call this K sub 1M, and ang another multiple ni M, let's call this K sub 2M, are equivalent under modulo M. Okay? So, ang ibig niya lang sabihin is that bumalik si M to the original number by some number K sub 1 and K sub 2. Okay? So, naging pareho sila by some number k sub 1 sa k sub 2. Then let us try to manipulate this equivalence. So, gagawin natin, let's transpose from on one side of the equivalence yung number na to so that we can have k sub 1 m minus k sub 2 m. This is equivalent to 0 under modulo n. Anyway, pareho lang naman sila on this. But we can rewrite this as k sub 1 minus k sub 2 times m. Okay? Now, can you tell me, so kung isusulat ko ito ulit, meron tayong ganitong statement. Can you tell me ulit nga, Joshua, what does this mean of a number equivalent to 0 under modulo, say this number n?
So, it means it's a multiple of n ba?
Tama. So, what we're saying is that pwede din natin sabihin if it's a multiple of n, so it means we're saying n divides k sub 1 minus k sub 2 times m, or this product is equal to n times ang number. Yan. So now, balik tayo sa assumption natin earlier. Anong ibig niyang sabihin? Anong connection ng pagiging relatively prime ng n and m to this expression?
Clearly, n has no shared divisors with m. So, m cannot be the source of yung pagiging divisible po yung k minus 1k and k minus k2 m.
So
K1.
saan siya?
So, dapat yung mga divisors galing sa k1 minus k2.
Yes, you're correct. This means that n divides k sub 1 minus k sub 2. But anong problem dito? From this, kung itong given natin, tingnan mo sa taas, ito, ang k sub 1, k sub 2 ay manggagaling from 0 to n minus 1. Tapos, n divides the difference of these two numbers. What do you think?
Wala mo. So, 1 minus k2. They are both less than n. Nandun po sa yan. So, n divides.
Try to imagine, ang pinakamalaki si n, tapos kinuha mo pang mga difference ng mga numbers below n, pwede ba ma-divide ni n yung difference ng maliliit na to na number between below n?
I don't think so.
Hindi, di ba? It's impossible. Ang liit.
Po.
Ito si n-1. Malaki na yan. And then kumuha ka pa ng dalawang number na maliit, kinuha mo pang difference, at sabi mo, n divides the difference. So dito nang papasok yung sinabi natin kanina. Ito.
Contradiction mo.
Contradiction. So there is a contradiction. So ang question, ito kasi given yan. Binigay natin yan na totoo yan. Pero, ang question, totoo ba yan?
Clearly not.
Hindi. So meaning, wala kang may makikitang dalawang numbers, k sub 1 and k sub 2, na mag-i-equal sila or magiging equivalent sila under modulo n. So let us write this down. Therefore, there exists no. Yan ang symbol sa exist na hindi. So there exists no ano to? K sub 1, K sub 2 in S such that K sub 1 m is equivalent to K sub 2m under modulo n. So hindi pwede. So therefore, thus unique lang. May iisang K lang. Thus, K sub M is unique for all K in S for it to happen. So in other words, at wala nang iba, so hindi na siya mag-generate niyang lahat-lahat. So thus, therefore, or ano hence, yung buong G mo is or Zn pala, not Cn, G. Zn is generated by M. Hindi na siya magsa-cycle ulit. So siya na yung mag-ano until it becomes the identity element. Medyo clear ba ang proof sa'yo,
Yun nga po
Joshua?
yung kung relatively prime nga po, hindi ever siya mag-cycle ulit. So forced po siya to go through every single one.
That's correct.
Kaya
Parang what we're saying that for every K in S, unique palagi si Km. So uubusin niya talaga.
nga po.
Ayun. Okay. That's it. That's the observation so far nakikita natin from these examples. Okay. Any questions so far sa ZN? Kasi next naman sa relatively prime natin. Yung, I think assignment din ito natin eh. So, let's consider ang question of assignment ko ba to sa iyo? Tingnan mo nga. Ang last number. At what values of n? Hindi. Okay lang, okay lang. Is u n under modulo n cyclic? Ayan. Interested tayo dyan. So let's, for example, let's consider U5. Is U5 cyclic? So by the way, ano palang laman nga ni U5? Numbers na relatively prime to 5 na positive.
1, 2,
So, 3. Yan, tama. 1, 2, 3, 4. So tell me, ano mga generators nito? Kung cyclic to.
multiplication mo?
Under multiplication. So, hindi pwede si 1 ang identity element.
2 squared, 4, 8, 3, 16, 1. Ayun. So, ano po? 2.
2. Okay, you have 2 now. Okay. Okay, sure tayo. Cyclic siya. And you can try other numbers. In fact, actually, 3 and 4 are also generators. So, I'll just leave this to you. So, how about U10? Can you tell me again what are the elements of U10?
1, 3, 7, 9 mo?
1, 3, 7, and 9. Correct. Okay. So question, is the cyclic? Anong generator niya if it is?
3, 9, okay. 9, 60, okay, 27. Okay, so 3 po yung sa generator.
Yes, you're correct. And another generator niya, it's actually 7. So you can check that. But 9, it's not. Hindi siya generator. Kasi 9 times 9, 81. So therefore, babalik siya sa 1 kaagad. So 1 and 9 lang siya. Okay. Ito. This example, U8 is the cyclic. Ano unang laman nito?
1, 3, 5, 7 mo.
Okay, 1, 3, 5, and 7. So the question is the cyclic.
9, 27, 27, 3. 81 is 1, 3, 1, 3. Okay, so
Bumabalik.
5, 25. So 5, 25, 24, 1, 1, 5,
Bumalik pa.
7, 49. Okay, so 1, 49, 343. Ano ba yung 343 divided by 8? 24. 3, 2, 2, 3. 23 minus 16. So, 7, 1, 7. Oh no. So, bumabalik po siya from 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 5, 1, 5, 1, 7, 1, 7.
Yun. So therefore,
No generator po, not cyclic.
not cyclic. Okay, not cyclic. So in other words, is this cyclic? No, for some n. Okay. Hindi siya cyclic for all, pero cyclic lang siya for some. Okay? Pwede din pala sabihin na, parang napaka-weird ang pagsabi kong no for some n. Pwede ko na lang yes for some n like these two, pero not in U8. Yan. So in other words, hindi lahat-lahat cyclic. Okay. So now, let's consider, medyo may mga theory tayo muna about cyclic groups and cyclic subgroups. Some of the theorems that mathematicians were able to explore. Well, since time, I don't know how old na bang cyclic group when algebra was invented. By the way, nung una, mga mathematicians kasi, like, mathematics started with the obviously counting. Egyptian, nagka-count, Babylonians, studied yung 16 cycle system. Then later, mga Arabs, Arabians, started to study algebra when trying to look at patterns. So doon nila nakikita yung mga algebraic structures. Then mga modern mathematicians like 1700s, 1600s, I don't know kung naririnig mo na yung mga pangalan like si Niels Abel and si Galois. Sometimes some people pronounce it Galois. Si Galois. Galois was really young. Galois was only like 21 years old nung namatay siya. Dahil daw, well, alam mo yung urban legend, hindi naman urban legend, yung story ni Galois.
Po siya, duel po siya.
Yes. Well, sabi daw nila dahil sa pag-ibig. Ang weird lang.
No,
It
for
was
one night po, inano po lahat ng lahat ng susulat niya.
Yeah, mathematics niya na isusulat niya. Tapos the following day, doon, nakipag-duel siya dahil daw parang I don't know, has to do with may gusto siyang babae and then and merong siyang kalaban that na gusto din yung babae na yon. Then yun, nakipag-duel. Pero dead siya. Yun lang. But what's the contribution of Galois na however young he is, he was able to write a mathematics na hanggang ngayon has been really useful na ginagamit.
Sayang.
O nga most likely marami pa siyang nagagawa sana, no? Sa ganun early age dahil lang sa pag-ibig. Ang last niya na work has to do with the quintic equation, ang quintic
Yung
equation.
yung si rin yata po yun sa yung Italian mathematician hindi na natapos.
Si Cardano yun, I think, no? Kung tama ako.
Yung isa pa po, yung isang Italian mathematician hindi na ma-solve, hindi na kompleto yung yung proof na quintics cannot be solved with yung
Yeah. And I think that time wala pang tools Hindi pa na-invento yung math tools to prove it. And it was Galois who were able to prove that. So in other words, ang ibig lang sabihin nun, di ba, na ang quadratic, cubic, at ang quartic equations merong closed formula. Pero beginning quintic and above, wala nang formula na magagamit ka to find the roots.
Hindi, pero baka meron kaya pong formula for it, but it does not use yung mga fundamental mo.
Yung for all.
Opo.
May mga special cases, pwede.
Hmm.
May mga ano ngayon may mga mathematics ngayon that they are using such techniques. For example, familiar ka sa mga elliptic number theory, elliptic curves.
Elliptic ball?
Elliptic curves.
Opo.
It's a
Yung mga
branch. It is a
yung
branch in number theory. Yung may mga heart, may mga shape
opo,
siya
yung mga
at
ano po, cardioid, mga ganun po.
ganon. At hinahanap nilang zero that passes through. And the solution kasi are numbers that is using cryptography. So kaya maraming mga number theories. Even in UP Diliman, may mga kilala ako dyan who's working on that. Julius Basilia, for example, they are working on that area kasi nagiging useful siya sa cryptography. I don't know, sa quantum computing kung magiging ano na siya, magiging useful pa rin because of how fast computing would be theoretically right now.
Opo, baka
Although,
masyado ma-solve na po in just a short number
yan.
time.
There's a Philippine funding ngayon sa Philippines kung interested ang isang mathematician to work on quantum computing or quantum cryptography. Kasi dapat unahan mo na yung isang system for it na kung if you want to make security more safer, so therefore kailangan mo ng new technique. Familiar ka naman ng mga current techniques, no? Anong alam mo so far, Joshua, about the current RSA crypto system halimbawa?
So, nakaka-crack po siya using yung Chinese remainder theorem. So, kung may supercomputer po kayo, madali lang i-crack.
Madali na ngayon ang Chinese remainder theorem. Kaya actually, mga computing ngayon, bilis-bilis nung unang panahon, ang bagal mag-compute
Opo.
I remember solving nung college ko, nag-solve, may sinusolve, ano lang yan inverse of a matrix, nagawan mo lang formula. It took 5 minutes para lang mag-run ang program. And I know someone from na economics noon, nung nag-aaral pa siya sa Cornell University ng PhD economics niya, kailangan niyang may mag-solve ng isang malaking matrix, getting the inverse of the matrix. It took 3 days daw para lang lumabas yung result. Ngayon,
Baka
ano na
ilan minutes na lang
seconds
po sa alpha po, yung ganun ka kung sobrang laki po. Ilan ano
Oo
lang po
nga
sa
eh.
alpha.
Ngayon, ang bilis-bilis Grabe, ang bilis ng technology ngayon. Kahit ng laptop natin can na-compute that. Anyway, sige. So, let's explore some properties of cyclic groups. Let's start with this first property and let's name this as a theorem ngayon. Theorem. So, let Chi be a group. At so far, wala tayong may sinasabi about our group if it's finite or infinite. Pero what we are considering actually an element of G. So let's call that element to be A. So let's suppose the order of A is infinite. Meaning, we are looking at a set that is infinite. So, i-multiply mo, i-add mo yung number na yan several times. Hindi siya babalik sa sa identity element. Some question, what can you say about A raised to I and A raised to J? Kailan ito magiging pareho? This is only true if and only if yung I is equal to J. Meaning, hindi na siya sa cycle ulit, babalik. So
Opo.
the only way for 2 powers of A to be equal if I and J would be the same. So that's one property. Second property na ipoprove natin mamaya, what if finitely many? Meaning to say, at some number lang, n, yun lang yung yung order ng A mo. So then, there are 2 things na lalabas. Obviously, yung napapansin na natin na property na hindi pa natin napoprove, ilang elements ang i-generate ni A.
Mm. ano po, mga n-1.
There are n-1 plus, of course, the identity element. So that will be e raised to 1, e raised to 2, a raised to 3, and so on. Sabi mo hanggang n-1. Okay. Now next, second property na pwede natin na-explore. Kailan magiging pareho, gaya kanina, yung a raised to I and a raised to j? Kailangan ba palagi na pareho yung I and j? Hindi necessary. So the property for these two to be equal is when n divides I minus j. So yun. Ito yung mga properties na pwede nating tingnan. Okay, the first one is easy to prove. Yung pinakaunang statement dito. So let's prove this. Proof of number 1. Okay? So, sa una nating statement, all we have to do is, let's consider, ito kasing if and only if statement, if this is your first statement, let's call this P, and the second statement, let's call this Q. Kung if and only if yan, may two parts ang proof mo. Meron kang tinatawag na proof by sufficiency. So, isulat ko lang dito. Kung ang direction mo is P implies Q, meaning galing ka sa left, papunta ka ng right, meaning you assume P to be true, and you are to prove totoo si Q. Ang tawag dito, proof by sufficiency. Kung pabaliktad naman, na you assume Q to be true, tapos you are to prove totoo si P, ang tawag dito proof by necessity. Necessity. Ayan. So, you have to do both for the statement to be true. But sometimes, pwede yung kanyang converse will automatically be true. May mga statement na gano'n, you don't need to write two different proofs separately. For example, the first one, the first proof nito is hindi natin kailangan na i-separate ang proof by sufficiency and proof by necessity. Let's start with this one. Ang pinakamadali. Suppose, I'll use screen. Let us suppose a raised to I is equal to a raised to j. And we are to show dapat na I is equal to j. So now, we can multiply both sides of this equality by an inverse on one with another. So, halimbawa, in this equality, you multiply the inverse of a raised to j. So, ang mangyayari, you will have a raised to I minus j na dito, and this is equal to 0. Or not necessarily 0, but the identity element. Okay? So, the question is, anong value ng I minus j?
I minus j. Log, ano po na? Log, wait. Kasi dapat 0 po siya.
O, dapat 0 siya. At wala nang iba. Tama. So, it means that I minus j is equal to 0 or I is equal to j. So, yun na. We're done. Tapos na. But may question ako, Joshua. Pwede ba pabaliktad? I'll start with, kung ang statement ko dito ngayon, I'll start with this. Yung I is equal to j. Can I directly say na a raised to I is equal to a raised to j by following all of these steps?
So pwede pong ano na, I minus j equals 0.
Yes.
Tapos yan, a to the that one is equal to a to the 0.
Yes.
Okay.
A to the 0 is still e pa rin. So, yun.
Pwede bang i-prove na, I think so.
Yes, you're correct. Pwede siyang pabaliktad. Okay? So either way, so we will not show separately a proof by sufficiency and a proof by necessity. You can also simply say na the converse is also true. Hindi mo na kailangan na step by step pang ipapakita. Alright, that's for number 1. So madali lang yung number
Papalitan lang
1.
po yung statement.
Yes. Pwede mo ibaliktad. Okay, next is, ang number 2, may kailangan to prove number 2, may kailangan tayong special tool in mathematics. Are you familiar with the division algorithm?
Yung ano po, Euclid's algorithm.
Bago ng Euclid's algorithm, merong siyang ini-introduce muna sa number theory, yung tinatawag na division algorithm. Kasi to prove Euclidean algorithm, kailangan mong may idea ka ng paano yung division algorithm.
Narinig ko na yata mo, pero baka hindi ko muna siya natandaan.
Okay, sige. Sulat ko muna, what's the division algorithm? The division algorithm is actually a theorem pa rin yan. But in other words, ang ibig lang naman sabihin ng division algorithm is that if you have two integers, you can express one integer in terms of the quotient and the remainder. Yun lang naman ang ibig sabihin.
Parang ano po yung something equals, P equals na yata mo, Q, I plus R.
Yes. May basta plus R sa dulo. So tama ka. So let's write this down. So the division algorithm. Magandang proof nito actually. Algorithm. I think it was the Greeks who were the first ones na umimbento nito ng division algorithm. So let A, B integers. And let's consider B to be a positive integer. Yan lang naman. Okay. So ibig lang sabihin ng division algorithm is that there exists a unique Q and R. So Q will be our quotient, R will be our remainder, and these are integers such that you can express A to be equal to BQ plus R. Pero anong range of values ng R natin? Your R will be less than or equal to 0, but less than B. So ito yon. Okay. So that's the division algorithm. Ang kailangan natin isipin sa division algorithm, parang in layman's term, kung every time when you divide a number to another number, the quotient and the remainder will always be unique. Wala nang iba. So it will, you have your expression, yung equality na to will always be unique at wala ka ng ibang number pa you could think of. Okay, so let's try to prove this. Hahatiin natin. Gamitin ko lang pula to prove the division algorithm. Bago tayo mag-prove ng number 2 dito, kasi gagamitin natin dito yan sa ang number 2. Okay, so let's prove. So, kung itong klaseng mga statements you will encounter in the future na sinasabi there exists a unique, so ang proof mode will be 2 parts. Dali lang, Joshua, can we have a quick break lang muna? May entertain lang ako quickly.
Sige
Maybe
po.
5 minutes. Will that be okay?
Okay na po.
Right. Prove this.
Okay
So far, ngayon, two parts ang proof natin. So let's divide this into 2. Part 1, madali lang to. So you are to show existence. Yung part 2, ipapakita natin na unique yung sinasabi natin dito. Kaya ang symbol na ginamit dito, ito yon. There exists a unique. So 2 parts. So first, let's prove ano to? Existence. Sa mga libro, actually medyo mahaba-haba ito. Gusto ko lang siya i-simplify this way when we want to prove existence. Try to imagine you are to divide two numbers. A divided by B. Ano ang notion ng numbers ibibigay niya as a result if you divide a number to another, whether it doesn't matter which one is higher or which one is lower, pero may two parts na ibibigay yung number. So halimbawa, let's try, you imagine 8 and 6. So 8 and 6. 8 divided by 6. So anong result nun? Anong lalabas na number?
Ano po? Yung may remainder po, wala.
Yes. Magbibigay lang siya ng decimal numbers, di ba?
Opo.
You have a quotient, tapos may decimal number ka na lalabas. So you can rewrite this as Q plus some decimal number. Okay? So in this case, ang decimal number natin will range, pwede 0, but not more than 1. Kasi so far, alam natin na if your epsilon here is 0, obviously B divides A. So perfectly whole number or integer ang Q natin. So now what we can do is to multiply both sides by B. So you will end up with an A is equal to BQ plus B epsilon. So in other words, if you are to multiply B on both sides of these inequalities, so you will have 0 is less than B epsilon is less than B. So hence, dito na tayo makakapag-introduce ng remainder. So let that be your R. Okay. So therefore, these numbers would exist. So yun lang naman ang ibig sabihin ng existence. Now, posible, there will always be a number that will give you this type of expression. But the question is, ang next na tanong, unique ba to palagi? According to the theorem, yes, it will be unique. So we are to prove uniqueness. Now, so far sa nabasa mo from your experience in mathematics, every time when you are to show na unique ito, mga objects na to, how will you show uniqueness? Na unique yung mga numbers na to?
Yung isa ko po nakita sa contradiction po, yung marami, assume po na marami, tapos make it so na contradiction kung if there are many of them. Para masabi mo,
Yeah.
pero is so there must be only one.
Okay, tama. Kahit not necessarily na sobrang dami, kahit dalawa lang. So
Opo.
let us assume na dalawa lang, and then we'll show na pareho lang pala sila. So yan. So that's what we're going to do here. So let's suppose, di ba sabi niya, unique si Q and R. Sabihin natin may dalawa, tig-dalawa. May dalawang Q at dalawang R. So let's write it this way. Suppose there exists, let's call them Q sub 1 and Q sub 2, and another one R sub 1 and R sub 2, which are integers, such that it satisfies this expression. So, ipapakita lang natin. So let's write all of this as follows. So you'll have A is equal to B Q sub 1 plus R sub 1, where R sub 1 is between 0 to B. And ganun din yung pangalawang expression. A is equal to B Q sub 2 plus R sub 2. 0 is less than R sub 2 is less than B. So let's assume meron ganitong expression. Now, let's do some arithmetic. Mag-arithmetic tayo on both inequality and equality dito. So, perform ka ng arithmetic dyan, perform ka ng arithmetic dyan. So, gagawin natin, let's subtract. Sasubtract tayo dito. I think magsasubtract din tayo dito. So, let's subtract the first expression. And obviously, ang mangyayari natin dito is this becomes 0 is equal to magiging B times
Q1 minus Q2.
and then plus
Sorry to walk.
R1 minus
R2 mo.
So, ayan. Next, ito. How about this one? Inequality ito kasi. So, dito ka lang isusulat. So, you multiply a negative sign on this expression. So, babaliktad yung mga inequalities mo. So, meron kang, ano to? B is less than, then R sub 2, and then this is less than a negative R sub 2, 0. So, you will have the expression, negative B is less than R sub 1 minus R sub 2. It's less than B. Okay?
Mabo.
Alright. So, at napapansin mo, we can even rewrite this further. Ito, pwede natin isusulat diyan further. This becomes negative 1 is less than R sub 1 minus R sub 2 over B. And this is less than positive 1. And this one as well, pwede natin ma-rewrite dyan. So that this becomes, may susulat natin in this form, magiging R sub 1 minus R sub 2 over B, at ito'y magiging Q sub 2 minus Q sub 1. Okay? Now, my question. Anong value ng R sub 2, R sub 1 minus R sub 2 over B?
Less than, ano po na? Less than 1. Less than 1. Tapos greater than negative 1. Pero,
Yes. So,
it has to be
ano yan?
Q1 minus Q2. Dapat 0 mo. Wala nang iba.
Bakit 0?
Kung mga point, let's say kung 0.5 po siya, pabaliktad. So, kung mga 0.5 yung 0.5 siya, so 0.5 yung Q1 minus Q2, no longer, ano po yun, no longer integers.
Correct.
Hindi,
The difference of two integers is still an integer. Tama ka? So therefore, purely the only integer between negative 1 to 1, syempre 0 na lang. So automatic 0 na yan. So therefore, anong masasabi mo sa expression na to? If this is 0, what can you say about R sub 1 and R sub 2?
so dapat R1 is minus R sub 2 is equal to 0. So R1 equals R2.
Yeah, that's correct. Thus, in this case, R sub 1 is equal to R sub 2. Yeah, we're done with that. How about this one? Oh, this is already equal to 0. So
Therefore,
hence,
Q1 is equal to Q2 mo.
ayan, Q1 is equal to Q2. So therefore, they're just the same. So unique nga talaga. So kahit finitely many pa, yung sabi mo kanina kung marami sila, kahit finitely many sila, ganun pa rin. Parang by induction, you can right away say na pare-pareho lang sila lahat-lahat. Okay, so sufficient na yung dalawa to try it to be true. Okay, so this is the division algorithm. So we will be using the division algorithm to prove this. So ito yung gagamitan natin sa ngayon. So now, let's try to prove 2.1 and 2.2 altogether. So let's go back to proof of number 2. So let's start with 2.1. Suppose the order of A is equal to n. Ito given. This is given here. So binigay yan na. So now, paano natin ipoprove yung una? So gagawin natin is magge-generate tayo on both ways. Kasi for us to be able to show na indeed pareho siya, dapat ma-enumerate mo lahat-lahat kung ano ang laman nito. Okay? Enumerate natin lahat-lahat yan. So now let us write the following. Number 1. By the way, I forgot to mention. Ano ba to pala? Ito yung una. We are talking about two sets. Equality of two sets. So paano mo ipapakita kung ang dalawang sets ay equal?
If they have the same elements,
That's one. Yun, enumerative. I-enumerate mo isa-isa that they have the same element. What else? Ano pa?
Ano ba? Other than that,
I'll give you a hint. Subset.
intersection nila po is 0, empty set.
Pwede. Pero particularly, if you can remember, one is a subset, di ba? I mean, ang concept ng subset.
Kung ano nga po siya, set po siya that's contained in the bigger set.
Yun, tama. In other words, ang gagawin natin ngayon is this. Maybe ilalagay ko dito as remark sa taas. For us to show two sets are equal, say A is equal to B, one of which, ang sinabi mo kanina, titingnan mo anong laman ni A, tapos kung ganun din ang laman ni B. Pero medyo mahirap siya if you do it parang enumerate mo isa-isa. But there's another one na pwede mong ipapakita. You are to show the following, that A is a subset of B and B is a subset of A. Kung may papakita mo that one element contains another, that same element on another set, and vice versa, therefore, automatically, ang dalawang set na yan are equal. Parang what we're saying is this, parang sinasabi natin that kung si X ay nasa A, dapat yung X na yan ay nasa B. Because the choice of X is arbitrary. So ganun din, if X is in B, you have to show that X is also in A. And this is also the choice of X na arbitrary. So parang sinasabi na natin, it contains all of the elements on the left-hand side towards the right-hand side and vice versa for the two sets to be equal. So yon, yan ang ibig sabihin ng equality of sets. Ito yung gagawin natin sa ngayon. So now, we are to show the first one. So papakita natin, we are to show, I'll just use the blue pen. So we are to show that this set generated by A is exactly E sub 1, E raised to 1, or A lang yan, A raised to 2, and so on up to A raised to N. Kanina kasi puro lang tayo enumerate. Sa ngayon ipapakita natin na ito lang talaga siya at wala nang ibang set. So now, can we say this? Obviously, this is true. At bakit? Yan. Kasi mga libro sasabihin lang, obviously, pero sometimes hindi siya ganun ka-obvious.
Hindi, obviously, pero meanwhile, where's the pagiging obvious?
Oo nga eh.
I can see why is it obvious. So,
Bakit obvious to siya na yung lahat ng mga elements daw na generate ni A ay nasa loob na to ng set na yan?
kasi, wait lang. Lahat ng powers niya po yun, up to N. So, anything na, any powers of A should be in that list of powers, kumbaga po.
That's correct. Yun na. Kaya sabi nila obvious. So, mga powers ng A ay andun na sa loob ng set na yun. So, next natin gagawin, pabaliktad. So, ang question is, we are to show now, we are left to show, that ito ay totoo. Ayan, susulat ko na lang. 2n minus 1, a subset of A. A subset of a set generated by A. parang what we're saying, kuha ka ng element dito arbitrary, say for example sa a sub 2, a raised to 2, si a raised to 2 ay nasa loob din dito. So yan ang ipapakita natin. Actually, in case actually a raised to k ang gagamitin natin as an expression. Dito na papasok yung division algorithm. So, now, ang gagawin ko is now let us consider, ay, bakit ba? Ay, sorry. May mali ako. May mali ako pala, ano, ng Joshua. Baliktad pala tayo. Let me erase this. Ito yung palang obvious.
Ay, yung annotation.
Yun. Dapat ito yung ipoprove natin. Baliktad. Ito ipoprove natin. Obvious siya kasi ito ay generated by raised to 1. Ito generated ng a raised to 2. So lahat ng mga generate mo ay nasa loob dito. So baliktad tayo. O baliktad ako sa pagsusulat ko. So we are to show, let me erase this. Let me erase
Open-end
this.
po open-end, para siyang ano po na yung open-end na po facing yung subset.
Yes, oo. Binaliktad ko rin. Actually, yung term dyan, superset. I don't know kung na-encounter mo. Ang subset, pag ano, ang superset pabaliktad.
Tama.
So yan. Ito yung papakita natin. Ito pala yung hindi obvious. Sorry, mali ako kanina. So, ang gagawin natin, let's choose an element dito. Kuha tayo at pangalanan natin a raised to k. So, kukuha tayo dyan ng element. So, let me write this in the expression of an element. Ayan. Tapos, anong susunod? Ipapakita natin that si a raised to k ay isa sa kanila. Yun lang naman ang magiging step natin. Again, if we assume a raised to k is one of the element generated by a, we are to show that a raised to k is one of these na enumerate natin. So this is where your division algorithm will come in. By the division algorithm, kasi alam natin, so far may dalawang kang numbers na binigay ang statement na to. Meron ka ng k at meron ka ng n. So gagawin natin anong relationship ng k and n in terms of the quotient and the ratio. So yan lang naman ang gagamitin natin sa ngayon. So in this case, by division algorithm, there will exist two numbers. So let's use the same number q and r, which are integers, such that we can rewrite k as equal to n q r by the division algorithm, at yung r natin would range from 0 up to n. So yun na. So in other words, si r natin is 0, 1, 2, 3, up to n minus 1. So hanggang doon na siya. Now next. So dito na papasok yung a raised to k natin. So consider a raised to k on the left-hand side. So therefore, this is equal to a raised to k n q plus r. May question ako. Totoo ba to? Kaagad? And why?
By the yung ano nga po, the division, yung division theorem nga po, algorithm. Yung
ito lang yun. Ito lang yun siya, Joshua. Division algorithm.
Yung power po?
Ito, yung power. Totoo ba yan?
I think so. Meron ba pong fundamental theorem to back it? I think so, na ano po yung kasi yung converse is true eh. Pag nandun po siya, definitely equal k equals n q plus r. Pero yung other...
Pero in this case, ano to eh, dalawang numbers na equal. K is equal to nq plus r. Sabi natin kaagad, ay, automatic na yan na a raised to k is equal to a raised to nq plus r. saan natin kinuha yan? Yan yung ano, yun yung parang argument. So, parang nag-aabogado tayo ngayon. Oh, anong article, anong section, parang gano'n.
Ano po?
Meron tayo na na-discuss kanina. O, anong na-discuss natin kanina pwede gamitin?
Yung kanina po ay A to the I equals A to the J.
Is equal, if and only if I is equal to J. Ito yung I, ito yung J.
So
And
if and
this
only
is
if
true.
talaga po.
Tama. Kasi it's true kasi finite ang order. Ayan. So, yun. Yun lang naman. Paano ka lang. Sometimes kasi mga college students ko, I also ask this. Sometimes kasi nagiging clumsy some of my students. They didn't realize na mali na yung steps. And if I'll ask them, totoo ba yung step na yan? So, dapat medyo i-argue mo, totoo yan because ito yung sabi. For example, ang common mistakes that my students are using, yung pag-raise ng power na kung base mo is 0. So normally hindi pwede 'yon eh. Kasi may rule na hindi pwedeng base ang 0. So kaya these are some things na I sometimes ask my students. Pero magaling ka eh. So kaya ang bilis lang sa'yo.
0 to the 0 po.
So now, ito ang sunod kong question. On the right hand side, pwede na natin tong i-rewrite. So we can rewrite this as a raised to n raised to q
Okay.
times a raised to r. Yan. What do you think will be the next step?
May reason na in exponent po. Baka they divide kaya A to the K minus R over Q.
Mhm.
A to the N.
Ano bang yung dito sa from this expression, notice muna, tingnan mo muna. Anong dapat yung ending natin sa statement na to? Yung magiging end. Kasi ipapakita mo lang naman na sa a raised to k daw, isa dito, pwede siyang e, pwede siyang a raised to 1, pwede siyang a raised to 2, and so on. So either of the three. So paano ipapakita from this expression?
K must be strictly less than N po.
O yun. Pero dapat ipapakita nito. Kasi R will range from 0 to n minus 1.
Ayun nga po, may restriction nga po siya sa right side. So, K minus, ayun nga po. So, times ano pala na, times something to the negative, something na nasa loob doon.
I'll give you a hint. Ano masasabi mo dito?
A to the N is definitely, hindi po siya sa set na yun. Ano pa? A
Oh,
to
hindi na siya sa set. But finite ang n. So sa ano siya?
finite yung N. So,
Magsa-cycle back siya eh. So ano yun siya?
kasi ano po na, E,
Yun, tama. This is now your E. Your
Kasi
identity
this ano po,
element.
in this universe, yung hindi po infinite. So, mag-cycle ulit siya sa E po. So,
Tama.
to the Q is also E.
So therefore, anong matitira on the right-hand side?
A to the K is equal to A to the R. So, therefore, K is R. And there's already a restriction on R. So, therefore, K can be given the same restriction.
Yan. So therefore, it's A raised to R. Sabi natin kanina, di ba, na-prove na ba natin? Napakita mo na bang argument? Sabi natin, if si A raised to K is one of these element in generated by R, so therefore, ipapakita mo lang si A raised to K pwede siyang E, pwede siyang A raised to 1, A raised to 2, meaning si K mo, pwede maging 0, 1, 2 up to n minus 1.
Opo.
Medyo nakuha mo ang proof?
Opo. Dapat
Ayun.
is greater than or equal to 0 but less than n.
Tama. Or we can also say that for all r from 0, 1 up to n minus 1. So hence, ang ibig niya lang sabihin dito that a raised to k is an element of e is raised to 1, a raised to 2, up to a raised to n minus 1. So napakita mo na indeed subset siya. Ayun. So therefore, we're done actually sa una na to. This is I think 2.1. 2.1 pa lang.
Opo.
So next na ipoprove natin 2.2. Anong 2.2 natin? Ito yon. Ayun, maganda tong 2.2 na ipoprove. And I think may dalawang parts. Ito napapasok ng proof by sufficiency and proof by necessity. Makikita mo bakit kailangan nating isi-split yan mamaya because hindi tayo makakabalik right away. So let's do this. Here, 2.2. So we are to show, sulat ko lang dito, to show that a raised to I is equal to a raised to j if and only if ano to? N divides I minus j. So ilalagay ko lang siya sa parang box. So now, let's prove both ways. So una, let's use the proof by sufficiency. So papunta muna tayo, meaning, suppose a raised to I is equal to a raised to j. So ayan, dyan tayo mag-uumpisa muna. So next, isolate natin gaya ginawa natin kanina. Let's isolate I and j together on one side. Tapos your identity element on the left-hand side by multiplying the identity inverse of a raised to j. So you will end up with a raised to I minus a raised to j is equal to the identity element. Okay. So now, ito na. Next naman tayo. Gagamit tayo ng division algorithm. So by division algorithm, so divi na lang susulat ko. There exists again unique Q and R such that we can write say A minus J natin. Itong ano to yan. We can write that as NQ plus R, where your R will range from 0 to N minus 1. Ayan. So naisulat na natin this way. By the way, wala na palang additional page. Magdadagdag ako ng additional. Alright. Ayan. So, again, gagawin natin, let's raise this to, i-raise lang natin muna to sa a raised to, j. I think ganun ang mangyayari. Okay. Let me write it here. So, magiging tsura niya, a raised to I minus j is equal to a raised to nq plus r. Okay. So next, anong magiging next step natin dito?
Yung ano pa tawag dapat ma-prove na I minus j is equal to 0. Hindi. Dapat ano po yun yung ma-prove. So, n divides I minus j. I mean, di nababos sa ano yan.
Oh yes.
Dapat R is equal to 0 eh. Para masabing n will divide I minus j.
Ito, gamitin mo to ang given. Ito, yan. Given yan.
Ayun. So, kung i-substitute nila po ng E,
Okay. So,
Okay.
iyan.
So E is equal to, so therefore NQ plus R is equal to 0.
Okay. So, magiging e raised iyan times a raised to r.
Okay. So E is equal to E times A to the R. So A to the R is just 1, and then R is equal to 0. So R does not exist.
Tama. Tama. So, therefore, these forces, sulat ko na lang, these forces are to be equal to 0. So, what we're saying right now, kung si R mo na is equal to 0, so balik tayo muna sa division algorithm. So, in this case, so I minus J is equal to N times Q. So, from this statement now, anong masasabi mo dito?
Edi if R is equal to 0, and then N divides I minus G.
Yeah, tama. Thus, N divides I minus J. Yun. But may question ako, Joshua. Can we go back? Meaning to say, if you do the converse again from bottom to top, pwede ba tayo makakabalik? For example, ito. Can we do this? Can I do this? Go back? N divides I minus J implies that I minus J is equal to NQ. Pwede ba?
Dapat walang remainder. Yes, I think.
Yeah, pwede. Pwede. There's no problem. How about from here, punta dito? Can we do that? Meaning to say dito, yan.
You do not know kasi hindi pa wala pa pong supposition na A to the I o minus J is equal to E.
Yeah, tama. So
Pwede.
therefore, we don't know. Wala, hindi natin alam, biglang lumabas si R. So kaya, hindi natin pwedeng bumalik basta-basta. So we need to write separately. We need to write a different proof for this. So dito na papasok yung proof by necessity. So you are to show, you are to suppose muna N divides I minus J. So yan lang muna. Diyan lang muna tayo magko-concentrate. Then let's try to develop our argument. So again, anong ibig sabihin when N divides I minus J?
The remainder does not exist. So R equals 0. Laban po.
Ano ba yung common meaning ng divide?
Ano po na, dapat I minus G over N is integer. So, ano pa ba? Yung ano pa na,
For example, A divides B. Anong ibig sabihin ng dalawang numbers na yon? Anong relationship ng dalawang number?
ano po sila? Multiple sila.
Yes, tama. So therefore, I minus J is a multiple of N. So let's consider
Some number
some.
times N po.
Ayan. So let's call that some number T. Ayan. Okay, next. Ito na. Dito na papasok yung dating theorem natin that we can raise on the left-hand side and the right-hand side. So pwede natin magagawa na yan. Now, can you tell me what will happen to the right-hand side?
Kasi A to the N naman. So, E. So, E to,
Tama?
E, ayun naman. So, E to the T naman po siya, meaning E1. That's just E. So,
E lang. Okay.
ayun, ano na po yung supposition ulit.
Ayun. Thus, pwede, sulat ko na lang. Thus, you can write A raised to I is equal to A raised to J. So yun, mas madali siya actually. Mas madali yung proof na to. So you are done. Hindi na ako mag-QED, box na lang. Napansin mo sa mga libro yung mga endang proof box, di ba?
Opo.
Parang gift wrap. So ito yung gagawin natin. Let's stop our class tonight from this topic. Let's continue next meeting on Thursday, all about na all cyclic groups. Then mag-introduce na ako ng permutation groups. Particularly yung mga tinatawag yan, mga symmetric groups.
Mga
So,
symmetric pala po na ano po nakita ko pala po sa ano sa yung course ko na tinapos ko na po yesterday, yung ano po tawag doon, sa chemistry nga po. Ginagamit po siya sa mga certain molecules na chiral. So,
tama.
symmetry po nila does not always have to be yung by mirror images. Minsan,
Tama. That's correct. Actually, dun ang lahat, actually there's a theorem, tawag yung Cayley theorem. Lahat daw ng mga symmetries that you can find finitely can be expressed by the symmetric group. So including yung, kita yung mga molecular structures, for example. So doon napapasok yung mga symmetries. Even, I don't know, part ba ng course mo na include doon mga conjugacy classes, kung paano siya sinusulat yung structure ng isang molecule?
yung from ano po, X-ray diffraction.
Yeah, ganon. Mga
Di pa po.
diffractions.
Pero
Ay, hindi pa.
sa next course setup po meron na po yun yung X-ray diffraction.
Ay, advanced na yan. Kahit ako, hindi ko na yan naaabot sa basic chem ko dati. Pero merong part dyan ng mathematics that describe, as long as there's a symmetrical pattern, it can be described by some group elements, so mga group theory na to. So yun, this medyo may connection yung mga pinag-aaralan mo. I don't know in the future, hopefully mare-recall mo to some of these items that you have encountered. By the way, yung mga pinag-aaralan mo, ano na to, third year level na mathematics.
Wow. Ayun mo.
Mataas na to, na third year college na to na mathematics, yung algebra. Which is, I feel, nakukuha mo kaagad eh. So kaya, I'm comfortable pushing for much higher topics na to later. Okay? So for now, Joshua, so do you have any questions so far that you would like to ask?
Wala naman po.
So let's end our class today. So I'll see you next week. So balik tayo sa regular schedule natin sa Thursday ulit.
Opo.
Okay. So for now, thank you very much.
Okay po. Thank you po.
Thank you, sir. Sir, thank you.
Tapos siya ngayon. So anyway, thank you po.
Sige, ingat. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye po. Ingat din po kayo.